right. Hello, hello, hello. Sorry, I realized I was out of coffee, and you guys know what that means. I had to get down there and get some coffee real quick. No, well, I don't even have time to do that yet. Let's copy this. There we go. Yep, had to get some coffee. I was like, ah, can't do it. Can't do it. All right, go. All right, sounds good. Thank you, Neuro. How is everyone doing this morning? Obviously, the markets are a little bit nuts right now. Yeah, just a little crazy. Again, that absolutely monstrous number last week on Friday. Yield curve, for those of you that missed it from the morning presentation, the yield curve actually inverted again. Another one of those signs that we are going into a recession. Um, at this point, I don't think there's any doubt that we are. I mean, I guess there's probably some people out there that believe we're not, but um, yeah, I mean, the yield curve is quite advanced. It's kind of one of the behind the scene things, and yeah, lots of fun and excitement. Um, yeah. So we're going that way. I can't wait. Really, I'm really curious to see what this PPI number is for tomorrow morning. Today, obviously, no news. Um, obviously, it's, with it tomorrow, expected to be higher. Um, yeah, it's going to be interesting. I believe at this point, this is we're at the stage now where it's kind of like if we don't naturally go into a recession, I believe that they will force us into a recession. It's kind of like the Democrats' kind of worst case scenario. Maybe that's why we're ratcheting up all the next 3 weeks of the January 6th stuff. I mean, we have absolutely huge problems right now. There's a war going on. China is locking things down. Inflation's at 40-year highs. Debts are at huge, very highs. Mortgages are down, and we're worried on January 6th. There's a lot of problems economically, and they're only going to get worse. Um, I'm kind of half expecting some type of a headline or something today. There hasn't been really any many comments from that CPI number, just kind of where we've been driven and with the media and the talking heads out there. Um, Obviously, the number one concern for people is again what we're paying at at the pump and food wise. I'm actually wondering if we are going. Again, this is pure speculation. I'm curious to see if we are going to receive some type of a stimulus check to help offset the again, they're calling it the Putin price hike when again, yeah, Putin has added to it, but it kind of goes back to the environment that was allowed to run hot for way too long. And they knew that, it was running hot anyway before Putin. Um, yeah, it's there. We let it run super hot with, extremely low interest rates for a very long time. So it's nice to kind of put blame out there, but at the same time, it's kind of hard to put blame out there as well. So we'll see. If there's a statement made, I wouldn't be like I said. I think something's coming. There's going to be one. Aha! Look what we did. So I think it's out there. Obviously not a today thing, but I am somewhat expecting some type of a quote from either Powell. I don't think Yellen will be the one that does it, or maybe even Biden today that makes a comment about these numbers. Remember last week they kind of did that press conference and kind of foreshadowed that the numbers were going to be worse than expected for CPI. Kind of wonder if they're going to do the same thing for PPI as well. I just think that will be kind of the next big bump, bump, symbol hit for today. But this is definitely a big one. PPI is considered more of a kind of an inside looking gauge of inflation. We know it's bad. We know it's getting worse, and we know that they're gonna I don't know. Todd seemed to keep mentioning the 0.75. I just don't feel like they're going to deviate from the 0.75. I think they'll say, hey, listen, based off of this one, we're going to probably need more. Instead of us doing 1, 2, and then pausing, I'm actually wouldn't be surprised if they say we're going to do 1, 2, 3 of zero point 0.5 and then do the pause because it's obviously, getting worse. Um, it'd be very, very odd to go 0.75. Um, yeah, it would be kind of really strange. Again, send us into a recession in the middle of summer. I don't know. Seasonal businesses would not be happy with that. Anyway, in the last 24 hours, biggest movers out there is obviously both pound related. Pound dollar down 136 and pound yen 254. Obviously the big one. Some of that is also yen strength coming in, so it's both pound weakness and yen strength all at the same time. And again, The dollar yen actually got up to 135 overnight, and then turned and literally rolled right off that 135, as we mentioned last week. We knew it was a big psychological level. We knew that there would be people coming in, and that's exactly what happened. So again, pretty nice opportunity there if anybody was able to grab it. If you didn't, obviously it's a little bit late now, but that's kind of what we're seeing. Besides that, it's dollar strength. I mean, pound dollar down obviously because of the yen, but I mean, dollar Swiss up 60, dollar CAD up 87, which is a big amount, right? Dollar, Aussie dollar down 70, gold getting crushed. Cryptos, I love Jack, but I think his bottom of 2660 or whatever it was. Yeah, it's down at like 24 right now, so that was not the bottom, unfortunately. Um, yeah, oof, 24,000, and even hot coffee. And even more remarkable is the fact that Ethereum's high was at 4,800, and now we're down at 1,200. Is 25% of what its peak value was. Um, Magically, all the crypto people have gone silent. I mean, they're like missing in action. Like we should start creating wanted posters for them. At this point, the fact that it's something is 25% now of what its high was. It's like ouch, 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 ouch. Um, and again, the more interest rates go, the more that those are kind of looked at as bad investments. So I don't know. We'll see where that one kind of rolls to. This is an interesting one. I don't know if anything's going to come of it. Basically, talking about tariffs and the digital economy, and the digital economy has been exempt from any kinds of tariffs, and that's exactly why they're kind of going after it. But besides that, it's just really been highlights of kind of technical analysis. Look, yen sinks to 23-year high versus the dollar, and now it's actually in the red. So that's the 135. So yeah, lots of fun, lots of excitement. Look at this. I love these things. The most volatile European, Bitcoining. Yeah, exactly. But tomorrow, two kind of major blockbuster headlines: PPI, and then obviously industrial production and retail sales later at night. We know obviously with the lockdowns, the year-over-year figures, they've been locked down for like 3 months now, so it's obviously lower, as well as again COVID effect and everything else. So year-over-year numbers are always a little bit sketchy right now, but again, they were worse before. Now they're not necessarily as bad. I wouldn't be surprised if they pop in a positive. If you guys are looking for a good read article on Monday, there's a very interesting one right here talking about Wall Street's China problems are multiplying with banker pay. Um, Kind of interesting. Don't reward your top people too lavishly. Chinese regulators warned the banks this year in meetings. Um, you know, Always kind of a weird thing when they're like, "Hey, listen, we don't, that's, you know, they're getting paid too much. Are they doing the right thing?" Right? China has a weird way of cutting things off. Like it's not really a fair playing ground when we're talking about China. And again, Will, you probably know this better than anybody else out there, but companies are not on equal footing with Chinese companies. So yeah, um, yeah. Now it's interesting that they're talking about our banks. So we'll see how that one goes. And then obviously, if you're looking at the yield curve, you want to know more about that. It should be down here somewhere. That's the Japanese yield curve. Where the heck is it? I know it right there. There's one more. So here's the yield curve. If you want to look into it, basically it's just a signaling of basically recession. When when it costs more money to do things near term than it does long term, is kind of the best way that Todd tries to explain it. But basically, it's just a signal that the short term is like, oh God, we're in trouble. Um, Interestingly enough, too, there's another one right here that there's actually bans for the Bank of Japan. Their yields have actually broken through their bans. They have things that you know, they have an upper limit, and actually it crossed into the upper limit. Never seen that before, never heard that before, but that's also an interesting one if you're trying to educate yourself about the bond market. Okay, now some notables out there. I think the first one is the VIX. The VIX is up 17.7%. Yeah, it's not like we were like 5 and it went to like 6, right? We're up 5 points in the VIX. We were basically we ended the week at, you know, 28 and we're up at 32. It's like, wow, it's an enormous jump in the VIX. Huge fear index jump. With that said, there is really no economic news this morning. Maybe some headlines. Some of this is in preparation for tomorrow, but I do see the VIX probably coming back down a little bit. Obviously, a lot of uncertainty, and the overdone like, holy crap, what's going to happen? Are they going to say something? Are we going to do something? Now that the markets are opening and it's kind of the business is back as usual, this should probably come down a bit. Um, I don't see that one being too crazy. Look at this. The year to date, it's up 99%. 99.33% in the VIX. So Yeah. So I see this probably rolling down, and again, we may be able to find a bottom in some of these. It looks like the YM is actually kind of holding firm. It was down like 185 or something. It's down at 188 right now. So it looks like it's finding a bottom. And I mentioned for Nadex that Russell probably going to have the worst day, and now Russell has accelerated past. So we'll start off with the Aussie dollar. Um, so Aussie dollar, we had this position last week. Obviously, it dropped. Let's pull that out. Let's get some of these other things out. Again, we've had a couple different alerts on this one. They've all dropped. Actually, with that said, let me make sure I'm not deleting this here. I think we got all of them. All right, so let's pull all these out. Let's pull this one now. All these are expired, so we're just going to take these. Oops. I'm going to leave that one there for a target. Let's pull this. Let's pull this. We're going to turn this yellow for target later. We know that this one's here. Let's pull this. Let's pull this. Let's put an adjustment here. The potential level. Looks like we sliced through that level, the profit target. This one ended up hitting and triggering a farther south run. What do we got here? I don't need this. Looks like we got a little level, and then here's an old violated level. Kind of had some buyers stepping in, so we're going to pull these two across. It's easier to drag. So let's put it across. Look at that, I just missed it. Yeah, so close. Look at that. All right, so there's kind of our bouncing back and forth, and it's funny how it kind of obviously is bouncing back and forth in there. I would say, based off of this level, so we know that this level here, I'll change this one to like an orange one, so it's kind of more of a, or just like an off color. Um, we know that this is a level, it was a previously violated zone, and it does have actually a confirmation off of it. So again, we can look for maybe a bottom here at 26.23. Um, this is one of those ones, although we've seen a lot of down movement, I would be very cautious about getting short this position, or I'm sorry, getting long this position, just because, again, as high as that CPI number was, the market probably doesn't have a great accurate reading of what this one could potentially be. God only knows, because remember, the fuel costs will add into this PPI as well. And we know that the fuel costs during the last month have definitely gone up. So I feel like the potential on this one is probably I mean, it's already at point 0.8. I feel like it could be more. I feel like if it comes in at a 1.0 over here as well, I feel like this thing is dropping. Now we do know we have a larger time frame zone right here, right? Whenever we have the horizontal lines, we know that's a higher time frame zone. I'd love to say that this one's good. Whoops, not that. It's this one. I'd love to say that it's going to be hard to reach, but this is only 132 pips away. So it's just over a daily ATR with a big PPI number. We got two small levels to chop through, but I feel like this is the next area where we're looking for major levels of buyers coming in. Um, but again, whew, a monstrous, could we come down to there potentially? Yeah, I would say that this is probably more of a level being like a 4-hour base zone. It's probably more of like the start of like where the parabolic retracement move would occur. Um, I mean, the thing about this one is, do I absolutely love this as a buy? No. I do feel that this one is going to get blasted with dollar strength as well as gold weakness. It's got it kind of on two fronts. I feel like if anything, look for pullbacks. Is kind of where we're looking for. Let's see. I'll just delete this and let's pull it. Let's go from here down and kind of see. Yeah, the reason I'm looking for here, and again, this is forecasting. It's obviously not down here yet. Look at the basing here and kind of how it pulls back. We literally bisect that if we can get all the way down into this level, right? And it actually brackets both sides of it off. So yeah, let's see. Let's pull this down to this last push. Yeah, it kind of makes sense why it rolled there. Just looking for other opportunities of where we can get in. Fortunately, now not many. Um, Looks like we may have a base here, and again, it may kind of breach through. I'm wondering, is there enough on this one? Wow, there is. There is. So we do have a basing level. Again, that came in at about 745, 8. Little bit of a pop. Went back and grabbed this level short. If we can get some basing in here, a decent basing in here, and we try to push below, right? We may have actually the opportunity for a little Harry Potter trade. It's a 11 pip risk, 33 profit. It does kick in before that kind of previously tested area of buyers. So it could be an interesting little short term trade for today. Um, and again, I think remaining short Aussie dollar is something you want to keep on the radar. But obviously, we're in a downtrend. Anytime we see a pullback, we go into that downtrend setup type scenario. If you don't know what a downtrend setup is, or you're confused about that one, that's obviously inside of the master course. Just so everybody knows as well too, the website was moved over to the new location. You should be able to, get all access to your classes. If you're not able to get your classes over there, please shoot me an email on it as well. But everything is now kind of moved over, and I've actually removed the link, so the ClickFunnels site is no more. The content is there for a little bit, but you can't. There's nothing is housed over there, so you can't get the classes there. Everything is over at Thinkific now, so it's easier to maintain. And you know, I had to pull everything out of it. It was just getting to be too difficult to deal with that one over there. As well as they were kind of annoying too. I had a the bank credit card, or not credit card, but the bank debit card. I didn't realize that it was expiring, and they literally were like, "Nope, it the transaction failed to go through." And I'm like, "What?" Meanwhile, everything else was like, "Oh, we've contacted your bank and we've figured out what the problem was, and it's now officially been updated, and we're good to go." But they wouldn't update it, so I was like, "All right, this is just a pain." It was a long time coming. It was supposed to be switched a long time ago, but there were some database problems, and still having the database problems. But again, if you guys are logging in and you can't get access, make sure you go to the new site. If you go to just again, your old links won't work. If you just go to keeptradingsimple.com, it will automatically take you to the Thinkific site now. By the way, so if you haven't been on, yeah. Anyway, there's your short. Also, again, there was the trade from, again, we talked about this one late last week with the basing in that level. We had a new area, and you can see that this one is well past. It is approaching the level down here, but we do have some buyers coming in now. This is a level down here at 92.94. It's been pushed about 3/4 of the way in, so just be aware that this is a level that it's tested, but it's not like a minor touch. It's actually a pretty deep touch in there, so we may have to go lower, which is also one that's been touched. So, I would say Aussie yen again. We're seeing the yen strength come in all the yen based pairs. I think it does actually. There is kind of an end to this in sight. But again, this is going to be once it does turn and flip, it becomes yen weakness. But we also have that Aussie weakness kind of following through because of gold. Again, gold's down 2% already today. Silver even worse. And again, with PPI going higher tomorrow, I think gold's still in it. So I just don't see much out there that is giving Aussie strength kind of any type of longevity. So yeah. So again, do what you want with this one. Right now, I think if we get any type of confirmation where we hit the zone and we start to kind of rally away from it, we base. I think that could give us a new bottom. It's kind of one of those more kind of like a failure to go lower type scenario. But I think either of these two levels could give us a potential bounce today at 92.98, 92.57. Could we see a 1030 reverse off these potentially? But we'll see what they do. Both have been pushed about 75% of the way, so it kind of lowers their overall impact as far as good reversal levels. Now, Euro pound. Euro pound has rallied all the way back up again, and we're kind of back in the same level again, and it's turning and rolling. Obviously, the comments earlier today about how a 0.5 raise for them is absolutely justified. Adds to this a little bit, but again, it's been a dollar. It's been a pound weakness day. This particularly goes back into where is it? Right here. Um, Basically, that the GDP was falling again. Um, Yellow news, my ass. I love the comments. Pound news, or obviously pounds heading in the recession. Recession worldwide is inevitable. It's a domino effect world recession. So everybody's pretty much on the same page. But again, not the best best information. It's not like the pound will be the only nation to go into recession. They're just the ones that have the data first because their inflation rate was higher. I do think this is a shorting opportunity. Again, right now in the overnight, it's been pound weakness. I do think that reverses once other people start talking about, again, if the U.S. is going to a global recession, that means we have the U.K. and the U.S. That kind of puts everybody into a recession at that point because of the spillover effect. So, yeah. Um, I think this is a short opportunity. How far can it run? Just, if you just want to take some simple fibs off of it, go high to low. You can see that 50% is coming off a level. I'd say that the level really was probably established right here. And again, you can see multiple touches off of it, but it was confirmed here. So I think that'll be a level that sellers are starting to look at this one right around the 85.38 level. Do I love it for long? It's been hit a few different times. I do like how the test came back down. It was a big, strong push, grabbed those buyers, and then took off again. So it could be worth one more. And again, from the new, when it was here, when this was the high, that was not actually a 50%. It is a 50% now. So you will have trading algorithms kicking in. Just kind of adds a little bit more spice into that pot. Um, Euro yen. Speaking of spice in the pot, Ernest, I just want to let you know. I don't know if you're out there. I think you're here. Ernest does not have a ticket in yet. It is like a billion degrees where Ernest lives right now. I don't know if you guys saw him talking. Um, he was talking about making money with the cat earlier, so he's probably around. He may just not have bought his ticket yet. He may be being stealthy. Ernest, I'm gonna try the hot tub time machine today. I found a cool recipe. I do like octopus. I'm gonna try an octopus recipe. You basically cook it, you let it marinate in the bag for 24 hours, and then you take it out and you just finish it on the grill, just to get a little bit of charring. Pretty excited to try this one. I had down in Fort Lauderdale. I had some grilled octopus that was like the most tender and like one of the best. It was amazing. It was an appetizer. I'm gonna try it at home, but I found some octopus. So I know octopus may not be your you know your arena, but I'm just letting you know, man. I saw it. I was like, I can't wait to tell Ernest I'm trying octopus. I got the recipe. As soon as we finish here, I got to go get at the herbs, and then I got to cook it for 6 hours, and then start the marinade. Anyway, we're on a 15-minute on this one. Let's go back to a 30. You can see we talked about this last week, popping through, and you can see it came through, popped here. If you didn't catch that one, we had two other opportunities to take this one short. We looked at a level, and again, this level had been touched a few times. It was our target. We ended up blowing through the target. It actually didn't even pause at the target. But right now, we are pulling back right at the 50. So, again, we are at a level where we could see some reversals. I do want to note there is obviously a level of basing sitting right here. It also happens to be bisected, and that's where we're out. Below that, you do see somewhat of a racetrack. So again, if you're looking for a pullback, I think it's 171 for 6 hours is what they're saying, to get it to like the right consistency. Um, yeah, no, it's definitely much higher for octopus to kind of break it down a little bit. Yeah, I think it was 171 for 6 hours is what it was. Yeah, I like the recipe because he had a whole octopus that he had to kind of clean. I was like, oh, there we go, because I have a whole octopus that I am cleaning. But obviously, when we see this level of basing, we see levels like that. There is a little bit around the 50. If it breaks coming through, again, we have a target down to the 61.8. So not everybody uses the 50. A lot of people do, but the 61.8 is sitting right there. There is obviously a short position right here that we can continue this trend. And again, we want to see some basing, and we want to see at least a 1 to 3, which puts us right there, which also just happens to be in here. I'll extend it across so you can see it. If we extend the same top across, that just happens to be right where the 61.8 is. Okay, so again, we've been following this one to the downside, looking for that reversal. It's been following through. The next level where we do have some basing, and it's an okay level. I didn't love it. That's why we kept it in the yellow. Was down here at 138. Psychological level was a base and continued to push away. So, I would say overall this would be more of a profit target from the short, but there's another short inside of the yen. Euro dollar. So we talked about this one breaking through. Again, came back up, grabbed it, continued to push lower. We're at 104, so we are officially below the 105 number. Why is that important? Why 105? Why am I excited about it? That's when people start talking about parity. With a big PPI number tomorrow, with the Fed absolutely, we know they're saying something on Wednesday. We got a next big level down here at 103 and then one at 102.25. We are in such close proximity. Could this move 100 pips, 150 pips with whether a big PPI or with a big statement from the FOMC on Wednesday? Yes. What does 100 pips look like? Let's see. Just this little arrow right here is about 120. So if we from go 105 down to 104, there's 100 pips, right? Figure 1.5 times the ATR is, again, what we could see. Actually, the daily ATR, let's see. Let's pull the whole thing because typically 1.5 is what could happen. The daily ATR right now is 96, so let's figure 180. This is how close we are. So 200 would be there. Let's pull 20 off right there. There's parity. From right where we are right now, one day pulls us in half. So if we have a big surprise here, we're touching that 102 level if both these levels break. And then number two is right there. If we're at 101.50, it will absolutely get sucked down to 100 to 1 for parity. Um, yeah, this is like one of those ones that I've been waiting for this for such a long time. I'm like so excited about it. But the fact that we're at 104 with PPI expected to be big and OFMC raising interest rates and the euro being like, yeah, we're just going to keep, we're going to maintain a little bit here, right? Yeah, it's going. It's going. I can't wait. I'm really excited about it. And again, if you're looking for week long based trades, we've had a little bit of movement now. Actually, let me pull this out. Let me see. Um, this is one of those trades on Monday morning that I think could be interesting. Let's see. Uh, do we have anything that is even remotely close? I think all my settings on Linux got reset because that's a 104. So it's got a little bit of risk in it. I was trying to look to see if there was a call spread in there for like a weekly. There would have been a little bit better of a one to take. Basically, last night when it opened, you'd be about, I don't know, it was right where the gap was. You'd be what? Let's see, 39. You'd be about 60 pips into it already. But yeah, so there is one a little bit lower that's an out of the money that's about $40 worth of risk, a little bit, or 38, a little bit higher on risk for us. But that brings it down to 101.42 for a weekly position. I don't think that's that bad. Knockout wise, I think all the knockouts will get blown up. Let me pull those up real quick. We're about to break one on the downside there. Yeah, we're about to break one right now. Um, I think tomorrow morning for PPI, obviously the one nice thing about knockouts is they're very close proximity. I think tomorrow, before that news comes out at 8:30, knockouts tend to have a little bit less premium baked into them versus the other products. I think there may be opportunity in one of the knockouts tomorrow morning to get something. And again, if we can keep the risk low, there could be good opportunity in there. There's a knockout right now. Um, it's about $35 worth of risk because it's kind of in there a bit. Sitting at 104.75, sitting kind of back up in here. 104.75. It was up in this kind of pullback area here. I do think staying short the euro dollar this week is good. And again, the two roll points of is what I mentioned again. This is from last week is the 103.64, and these are the two kind of again targets downside profit taking slash where you want to kind of position trades and for potential reversals. All right. Pound yen. Obviously, pound yen continued to move. A little bit of a Harry Potter. Blew through this one. The next one is actually sitting down here, and we have an alert that pops up for it for 161.88. Um, I do think this one probably finds a bottom. For this one, the trigger, it requires 70 more pips and then another movement of 145. Obviously within one daily ATR, but this one's already down 162. We're already, basically down an ATR right now. There will be some profit taking, and we're at a level right now. You can see it right here. This is where price is currently. It was a base and a pop, so, you know, we got some more room to run, but I think a lot of this trade is already done. I'd like to see I think that this one tomorrow, if we base in here before PPI, I actually think there could be a short in this position as well. There may be some opportunity to take the short, but I do think today we may see a little bit of a rally back up again wherever we find the bottom. The profit taking on this one from all the news being out there, it's now factored into the market. I do think there will be a bit of a reversal, but I do think that there is the potential to short the pound yen tomorrow for the PPI data. Again, there's a lot to look at right beforehand, but I do think this is one of the proxies that we could be able to trade. Okay. Pound dollar. Again, continuing to move. This is where we're at right now. There is something at the 50. This was a level we talked about as a target. Look at that. It base pulled back and then it ended up continuing to drop. We did have a Harry Potter based trade here. And we'll extend this across. Obviously, it's out now. And we'll bring both these across. Whoops, nope, not that one. This. There and there. So these are two levels. The first one, as you can see, Is this the ideal Harry Potter trade? It pulled through. It pulled back up. It grabbed a level. We typically like to get a little bit more of a base. On a 15 minute, you didn't quite get it, but it kind of stabilized in here. And again, this is at about 6:30 in the morning, so not even. It's a little bit late for that kind of morning reversal. Mondays are a little bit like that, but again, we were looking for a break of that level. It broke through. It smashed into the target on the other side, and now we are hitting, and it's kind of getting long. So I actually don't mind this one. Again, as I said, I think dollar strength is the way to go. On a technical level, it is bouncing off of it. It did go pretty deep in there. We did know that we already had a level down there. Actually, this should be down to here. Um, Kind of the same thinking. But again, we just completed another, another Harry Potter trade to the downside. 4 hour wise, let me see. Hmm. So we know we're sitting right now. We're sitting in this 4 hour zone here. The next major 4 hour zone is not really until down here, because you can see it's a bit of a racetrack on a 4 hour level. Okay, so let's extend these across. How much is that actually? That's 64, so that's actually not bad. On a 4 hour, that's a pretty decent trade. Uh, all right. All right. All right. All right. Let's go to here. 30 minutes. All right. So that's actually not a bad level worth of risk. Um, we're talking about 20 pips in the pound dollar. That's not horrible at all. So I would say there is the potential here for a continued push to the downside. And again, look for a pullback. You've gotten plenty of them: the impulse correction, impulse correction, impulse correction, impulse correction, impulse correction. Next drive forward, the 1 to 3 is only right there, and actually works out perfectly. It's a 1 to 3. Okay, so this one looks like a break of 121.58 and an overall profit target on the downside. Again, 4 hour level. So again, we love our 4 hour levels. 120.94. Okay, so another nice push to the downside. And again, because this was set up on the 4 hour with this push, again, I'm removing some of the alerts in here. So let's put an alert on this one, and we'll let's see. HP short confirm. There we go. So again, another little 20 for 60, right? 20 for 60. We can even actually shrink this a little bit if we really wanted to. We could shrink the risk down to this level here, and that brings us down to 14 pips worth of risk. And then our 1 to 3 is only sitting right there, right? So 14 and a half risk for 43 profit in the other direction. Not a bad little trade, and that one takes us out at 121.83. Although, again, this profit target doesn't necessarily change. The profit target, the overall profit target would still be 120.96, but the 1 to 3 obviously changes when your risk is smaller. Okay, and again, that's just position sizing. So that's cool. Dollar CAD. So we tagged the target. We were looking for a target. Again, we were looking for the pullback and push higher. 128.35 did get hit. It based in there a little bit. It's pulling around. We were looking for that one. We'll extend this higher, but that our target is hit now officially. Um, let's see. Where is our next major? Actually, let's crank this up to a 4 hour. Let's see where our next major level is. Um, ugh. Ugh. Look at that chop. Looks like on a 2 hour chart, looks like there is our level. But, ooh, look at that on a 2 hour. I like that one. Debbie's going to make fun of me, but sexy, sexy. Look at that. I love that. 3 candles just like that on a pullback, 3 descending like that. I'm all over that. I like that. I'm good with that one. We're going to steal that one. 129.60. Actually, both these levels are pretty decent. Nice push off of it. Nice push off of it. So there is two. There we go. 129.60. This we don't need right now. But I will mark off that. Look at that. If this does turn and roll right now, there is a pullback right there at the 60 as well. So let's pull that. Man, what is with the dollar cat today? This is like, yeah, that was our target. So target is out. Um, the sexy one is worth waiting for. I know, right? Yeah. I mean, we talked about finding a bottom at 125. It made it to 125.15, so I was not wrong. I was hoping that it would come and form the base right at 125, though. But man, we are close. It went without us. But we were looking for that bounce. Really upset that it didn't hit that high. I can tell. Do you want me to tell you guys why this happened? Right. Melissa got one of her tax checks back. So because they know we have to bring money back, they decided to make it less money. It's like, can we just keep it in our bank account and wait for it to come back down again? It's like, oh, it's four pennies, but it is a lot. Yeah, at this point, I would say again, we're in a tested level right there, and I almost kind of want this to go a little bit more and extend. But there's some decent trade setups in this one. I like the 129.60. I like the 130 up here as well. I think both of those are big psychological levels. Very strong movement out of there, and I like the price action. And again, I'm on a 2 hour. Um, you know, it's not. This is 19 pips on a 2 hour. Um, can we refine that at all? Yeah, you can see it right there. We could refine it just a little bit as well, but I would probably leave it there just to get a majority of the move. So yeah, 2 hour levers are not bad. Not as good as 4, but better than 1, better than 30, better than 15, better than 5. And the fact that it's not really that much risk, it's not a bad little trade. I'm pretty okay with that one. All right, let's see. Dollar Swiss. Dollar Swiss. We had a level up top. It was a 61.8. You can see that it hit it and it gave us a little bit of a kickback. And then what did it start to do? It started to base. So it's like, never mind. It's breaking. It's time to go long. And when it came up, it based and pulled back. It was a long base trade. Again, I did not get in this trade. This was early morning. This is late last night. And the 3 o'clock, actually, where it took off from, 3 o'clock candle is right there. There's your 3 o'clock move. There's your risk. And your 1 to 3 is right there. So, has been trading late night. Again, this was one that you could have grabbed. Again, I'm actually surprised it didn't put up more of a fight, but it did hit it and pull back. You can probably see this on a 30-minute. You can't really see it as much. It was on the bigger one. But yeah, you can see it pop right down here. It hit it and popped and then just started to base. In the overnight, late night it went over, and then right at the European Open, it came back down and hit it, and now it is out. So again, we're on our way. Our target, if you are long at this point, is going to be 1. We're at 99.48, so at 50 pips away. I do think that it does complete today, just in preparation for FOMC for tomorrow. But I am pretty excited about that PPI number. I think, I think that's going to give us some movement. All right. Yeah, for right now, I wouldn't be willing to take this one short. I think 1, and if we see if we see a level of basing somewhere around up here, I'll turn that purple because it's not official zone. It's just looking for that base at 1. I think that'll be the big telltale sign of where we're at. I'd like to see some pre-movement because obviously people know what the data is going to be. Um, right now, the market's factoring in big, so I think it continues to go that direction. Dollar yen. I love this one. This one is hysterical. So dollar yen. We talked about it. You know, again, depending on where this one hit, if we go here, you can see that it did come up and hit. If we waited for that one afterwards, again, 1, 2, 3, 4. You don't expect it to hold. We were trying to play this one back to the downside. We mentioned turning off of 135, and it did. It came up at midnight, and then the European session started right over here. Actually, the European session started here. Okay, it came in at base, that did its pullback, and then continued to push lower. So, we were looking for the roll. The roll came in at 135, exactly where we planned. Again, it had a 20 pip risk on there on the top side. This was a larger psychological level, being at 135. It was also from a 4-hour time frame. So, a lot of turning potential up there, and it's kind of out now. I mean, if you're waiting for the base and the breakthrough, you're out. Where do we go with this now? I think this level here is interesting. It wasn't really a base. It was an old level, this 133.39. I'll remove it off because, again, we know that this is from a daily time frame. We have kind of formed a new level. We have hit it one time. So it's a one candle bottom, had a decent push, was a decent turn there. I would say with everything today and the profit taking, 133.36 could be the level where we stop and we start to kind of say, all right, what's going on here? Let's prepare for tomorrow. You know, Unfortunately, the dollar yen is a harder one to play. Why? Because you have dollar strength coming in, but you also have yen. The yen tends to move as well. So, kind of a more difficult one. It's not going to be as easy as a dollar, euro dollar, or like a euro yen type play or a pound yen type play. So just be a little bit more cautious with it. But right now, I would say, hey, listen, look for it potentially to bounce. I think the level down here, and again, there's basing on kind of both sides, um, right? I think it's something that it's something that's noteworthy. The reason why I say it's noteworthy is because you did have a base, you did have a pop, it did come back down, it did touch it, it did take off. If you go low to high, that's also a 50% retracement. It is a little bit deep. It's about 170 pips from where we are right now, so it's kind of on the radar for tomorrow. Like maybe the numbers are disappointing tomorrow, and it shoots down, or maybe we get some massive amounts of yen strength and it pushes down. This could be a potential rollover point for tomorrow for news. Okay. If we're able to clear the 133, I think the 133 is more of an overnight position. It's not necessarily a big enough kind of hourly position to um, play that one just straight with, you know, kind of comes back down to do you want to mess with that one? Hold on one sec. Hold on, guys. This is not necessarily one that you want to fight the PPI and FOMC. This probably a little bit better. Okay. All right. Cryptos. Look at this. 23 and accelerating. Yeah. So I'm gonna have to go back to a daily on this one. I'm just curious. This just shows you that it's risk off. So the last time that price was this low was December, right? December 2020, right? Let's see. It's funny. Jack was calling for 26,000. We can remove all these. Let's clear some of these up top, just so. That one. So Jack was calling for 26,000 as his bottom. And I get this was his like, yep, I told you so. But obviously at this point it's gone to 23. Um, wow. So on a daily basis, we do have a level sitting right here, and that's kind of where we're at right now. The next level is not down. It's down here. This is the next time that buyers have really stepped in. 18,000. Holy crap! Could you imagine? And again, this is on the daily chart. Look at this. There's nothing. Pure technical trading. If we don't find a bottom here at 23, right? There is more here. And what's interesting about this 18,000, I think Robert Kiyosaki basically now he's a crypto genius supposedly as well, and he was talking about he wants to buy it at 20,000. I think he said he's going to buy some at 20 and then buy more at 16,000. But yeah, it's quite a big hit there. But yeah, monsters mover. Ethereum kind of the same thing. I cannot believe that. I cannot believe this. 4,800 was the 52-week high, and we're 25% of that. Yeah. Oof. Can I do just 1 year? Hey, look at that. November to now. Ouch. Down 53 for the year. Crazy. Yeah, so Ethereum also, you can see it likes the 450. There are also some buyers. So yeah, so some fun there. Dogecoin, I hope the guy James has sold all his Dogecoin because I know James is up at James is loving the 11 to 14. This is down at 5. So hopefully James is not in. This will go back down and be zero eventually at some point. Let's flip over to commodities. We don't need the daily on commodities. Let's go down to 30 minutes and see what we got over here. It's so funny. On the 30-minute, we're like, look at 100 all the way down here. You're like, wah, wah, wah. All right. So we talked about this level up here at 120. It looks like it got at 930. It got super close. Actually, there's the bottom of the zone that we drew. We were looking for 120.20, and it got to 120.08 and turned and rolled. So I would say we're basically floating right around the 119 with no real data today. Um, I don't know. I feel like this one is still on, I feel like it's still in the spotlight, right? The prices are super high. We're in summer, right? Um, I don't know. In the last 4 days, gas has not changed prices. It's still at the $5.04 across the street. So it has not changed. We're in that holding pattern. Um, I would say right now, my thinking on this one is unless there's some type of major geopolitical headline, I do think we are now in a little bit more of a bearish mood. Um, Reason why is with the inflation numbers out there, they're going to look at inflation, and the main target on its back is going to be, gasoline prices. Everybody's looking at it, as I said, on different radio stations. They're interviewing people, and they asked how they're voting, and who they're voting for. And the people have been pretty blunt, like, well, gas was half the price with the other group. And they're like, well, if that's all that matters, they're like, I can't afford to feed my family. Yes. I was like, oof. So I feel like there's relief coming. They realize, Democrats realize they're going to lose a lot of votes if they don't get this under control. Um, until we get the next major headline or the next OPEC message, I do think we look for a little bit of a pullback. There'll be a little bit of a reprieve. I still think they're going to send everybody a check, right? To stand up to Russia. I think they're going to send us each, everybody's going to get a gas check, right? Right. Just to help offset the hardships of high gas prices. I feel like that's coming. I feel like that's coming. Um, Again, no idea how we're going to pay for it, right? But I feel like that's what's coming. So we'll see. But I think again, we on a fundamental reasons we look to go short. Again, right now it's kind of got to get out of its range. We don't need this one. That long is from last week. We don't need that level. Again, this last push up, we know that the 50 is sitting down here, and we know we have some buyers. So looks like again 50 right now is 117.25, and then 116.10 would be the two areas where we could potentially look for a base and some type of a rally. Natural gas also a little bit down right now. It's red, but we're still just floating back and forth between the most recent high and low between 970 and 805. I wouldn't say that the trajectory has really changed that much. It gapped up, it came down, it came back up, and we're kind of right where we were Friday. So not a ton in there. I would say for a 30-minute candle, there is something up here at the 61.8. It's a decent level. I like the formation. I think the candle shape is good. I like the response back out of it. I do like it that it is sitting up at the 61.8. I don't like the fact that it's three hits to that level, but everything else besides the fact that it's a third hit there in the middle of a racetrack and then it kind of reestablished itself, I do like. So if we can get back up to this $9.06, there could be some selling up there. Um, Again, I don't feel that this one is over yet. I feel like, Russia, again, the United States weaponized the dollar, and now, again, now they're pissed off that Putin is weaponizing grain. Like, I don't know. I don't know how you can be pissed off by somebody else weaponizing something that shouldn't be weaponized. So, yeah, God knows what's next, but I do feel that natural gas still has the potential. I think we hit 10 before this is all said and done. I do think we hit 10. Um, but right now, I would say the U.S. dollar interest rate is going to take precedence. Gold. So gold, yeah, I hope to God you guys got in this. We talked about finding the top last week about what it was going to look like. We had a level of basing. We did kind of have that, kind of Harry Potter pattern. And again, here we mentioned it, like getting short. We talk about week long trades. This one is down $50 already since the market opened. Think it's a great trade. It's kind of already there, and again, they're preparing for a monstrous PPI number. We talked about this one from Nadex, and we were sitting right here, and it's continued to drop. It's dropped another $20 or $30. Uh, Again, parabolic retracement up, find the basing, come through where the top is going to be. When we broke through, we even got a pullback, right? Impulse correction, and then again, you could have used this level of breakthrough. You could have used this level, and again, it pulled back here. When this one broke through, it pulled back again to that level. So numerous opportunities to get short. I think gold will take center stage. I'm thinking by the end of this week, we come down and we hit 18. I know that's only 28 or $30 away, but that's a pretty big move in gold. Right now, it's down $42 or $43, and that's a 2.3%. So again, that's not out of the ordinary. Dropping another $23, $27. We're there. We're there. We had downside targets down here at $18 and I'm sorry, $1,813. So I mean, we're on its way. Don't know what to say. Um, I hope to God you were short in the overnight. But again, this one has been a nice dropper, and we even talked about it when we break through 1850. You can see that one is obviously completed as well. So not much else to say about gold. Silver, even worse, down 3.8. I mentioned earlier today that we're going to hit 21, sometime this week, and it's funny when I keep saying this. I'm like, yeah, we got 50 cents. Maybe not today thing, but we will hit it by the end of the week. Uncle Warren was obviously listening again. He took it all the way down to 21 for us instantaneously. So thank you, Uncle Warren. Um, I don't know. Maybe it's Uncle Jamie. Maybe it's not Uncle Warren, guys. Maybe it's Uncle Jamie because he's A lot of things that he said, we've talked about. So I don't know. So yeah, Uncle Jamie maybe brought it down to $21. Um, Again, if we're at 21 now and we haven't even gotten any additional news, any additional headlines, let's see, did they say anything else? Um, Adjusting the schedule for outright purchases? No, not even any headlines. And we're continuing to deteriorate. It actually could be China's data as well. But yeah, I would say, wow, at this point, let's draw a big line. Let's draw this. There we go. Let's just put this at 20 flat. We know we got a larger time frame level at 2038. I would say that now that we're here, this is our next target is down here at 2038. Question is, do we come all the way down and we tag? Oops, not percentage. Do we tag that? Do we tag 20 this week now? Ooh. Yeah, on a buying day. Oh, is today a buying day? Yeah, hopefully you buy it at the end of the day, not the start of the day. Yeah, because if you bought it this morning, you've lost a little bit of money. But yeah, I'm saying 20. I'm thinking 20 by the end of the week. Between tomorrow and Wednesday's news, I'm wondering if we can bounce off 20. Because like I said, somebody was listening this morning when we talked about this one. So yeah, a bit more of a mover. So let's see. Yeah, woof. Russell getting just cranked. Yes. So we talked about a potential trap. It looks like that trap was not going to happen. Looks like they did not do the opening trap. So again, this one just continued to drop, which again, I don't think is unjustified. I mean, on a fundamental basis, it's kind of hard for this one. I don't know. Maybe people are not that stupid. Maybe they weren't going to fall for the trap today. I didn't really give targets on this one. Let's go find some targets. All right. So we're on a 1 hour time frame right now. Looks like here. Not that that's an amazing level, but it looks like we have something going on there. Let's put this out. Actually, let's shrink this a little bit. There we go. So looks like right now, because again, this is just continuing to be short. Looks like the target right now for downside is 37.31. So again, was there a 15-minute opening trade set up today? On the 15-minute, it didn't really do anything. Here's the 9:30 candle. Again, it was kind of holding firm in this base level, but we typically like to see a pullback, and it didn't really give it to us. It did kind of break below the low, right? It did break below and then stop out. So yes, there was still a trap. Yeah, look, actually went up, down, and up. So it did technically break below, but it wasn't a monstrous trap today. Probably some scalpers at the open that were really kind of fluctuating it back and forth. I mean, the 9:30 candle is right here, so it did go up on the open, kind of like what we mentioned, and then came down again and then faked it out, and then just continued its push. But I think right now we wait for this thing to come all the way down. Whoops, not 30. We need 15. I'd say 37.32 is probably where we see it bounce. You got $1. $1 on silver or $1 on this? You buying silver from Neuro for $1? It's a steal. It's a steal, Ernest. It's a steal. um, yeah. So look for a bounce. I look for it all the way down here, but this is the target first. Look for a confirmation. Got 1,700 off of Russell. Oh, okay, okay, gotcha. NQ. Yep. And again, NQ kind of funny. 9:30 candle. What did it do? It went up and then grabbed the level. And again, this one did actually grab a level at the open. There was your base. So again, your 931 it hit. Let's see, is it out? Yeah, it looks like it is. Looks like the 1 and 3 is done. 1, 2, 3. Nope, not done yet. So it's close. It's close. So far we are 1 for 2. Right, one entry. No profit targets it yet, but obviously ES did not hit, and Q did hit, and is pushing down. We'll see where that one goes. Again, we had a level down there, so we were looking for that target anyway. Let's go. There you go. So I was looking for. Yeah, problem is on a 4 hour, we're dealing with all this junk. Can I see it on a 2 hour? Survey says yes. I can't see it on a 2 hour, but it's not close. So it looks like we got something kicking in right. Actually, not there. Um, hmm. Probably gonna be some buying coming in right there. Decent base with a nice pop. Hate this bottom. Let's do 11,000. So it looks like there are two areas where there's potential buy. So right now, if you're short, looks like your target is down here at 11,266. Hmm. Yeah, I would say look for some type of base. None of these levels over here are amazing levels. You can see the last drive up. There's a few things in there, but I don't think I can go back far enough and see it. Oh, I can. I can get it one hourly. And maybe there's a little hiccup right here, right? Had a little basing, pulled up, and then boom, shot off of it. So I would say these are kind of more your downside targets. So, if there's a confirmation off this 11,100, there could be a case made there. Again, 11,000 is going to act as a psychological level. But right now, I think today we get down to 11,265. We'll see if there's any type of 1030 reversal coming in. Again, nothing really necessarily justified. No comments. Just, again, people preparing for tomorrow. The 1 to 3 is almost out. We're so close, right? We're so close on this one. Um, you can see it's ticking down. We got another 10 points, 12 points, and we're there. So close, close. YM. So YM is holding firm. Again, we talked about kind of a break of this one. I didn't pull back. Let's see. The 930 candle would have been right here. It kind of pulled back, but I wouldn't say that this one is necessarily an entry. We were talking about being short. It was the strongest of all of them. So, taking a short into this one is, obviously not the ideal scenario. I wouldn't say that this one would have triggered, unfortunately. Excuse me. I would love to say we were 2 for 3 on entries, but this one would also not have been an entry. NQ, yes. ES, no. YM, no. It is continuing to go lower. If we do find a bottom and profit taking comes in, again, YM would be where we're looking to play this one. Look at that. We do know there's some buyers here. There are some buyers here. Can I see where it ran into before? I can. It's a kind of a junky level. I was hoping that'd be a better one, but not so much. Probably 30,410, or I'm sorry, not 40,410. Well, 30,400. Looks like that would be a decent profit target. It's where buyers have stepped in on a lower time frame, or an upper time frame. So yeah, it's a shame. It's just continuing to go lower. It looks like we missed the piece there, but it looks like today we're looking for a low of 30,400, where confirmed buyers are. And then the Russell, and again earlier this morning I said, hey, listen, Russell. Yeah, we're looking for Russell to go down. We were below the 1800. It was a big psychological level. You can see. Let me bring this back down to 15. Let's see. Did we get an entry in this one? 930 is there. Oof. It's gonna be close. It's gonna be close. Yes, we did. So 2 for 4. This one's probably beyond 2. There you go. So that one is out. So we're super, super close on NQ of getting stopped for profit. Russell at this point is stopped on a 15-minute chart. And again, we talked about Russell being the weakest. This is the best one to kind of dive into, and it's there. Is NQ out yet? Nope, not yet. It's trying. It's trying. But yeah, Russell, decent one. So 2 for 4, not bad. One completed already. The second one is, you'd be locked in at profit. Couldn't take a loss on that one unless there's a major gap. Look at Tesla at 650. All right. Magically, Mr. Pelosi is no longer in Tesla. and it's all the way down to 650. Imagine how he knew that, right? Right? Imagine that. Wonder how that, you know, yeah. But 650 in Tesla, that's insane. Down 7%. Apple getting chopped. Twitter chopped. AMC getting chopped. Yeah, everybody major gaps today. Yeah. So, wow, 18.8. It's holding. I'm actually really surprised it hasn't turned and rolled. Man, there people are really, really scared of recession today. It was probably that inversion curve that did it. Probably that inversion curve. Yeah. So, is there any more headlines? Oh, here you go. Global manufacturing bottlenecks. They're gonna do a second 50, and it's gonna take it in the, from to 125 to 150. However, we see a significant risk that the Fed makes an even bigger move rate of 7.5, giving the upside surprise of May. I don't know. I'm curious to see. I wonder if they said if they would do a 0.75 and then a 0.25, or if they're just going to keep it slow and steady. I feel like Powell, he's going to keep the slow and steady in there, right? I don't know. It's a hard one. Do they need to do 0.75? Yeah, but again, Bullard called that before, and then he's like, nah, it kind of makes sense. Yeah, that this story, although not from again, not a not disreputable, but not one of the breaking major sites or anything like that. The name that everybody knows. Very important article. Very important article. But that's kind of explaining everything that we're seeing today. So, and again, no other news. There's no headlines. Nobody has talked, and we're seeing that much movement. So, yeah. So the big one is going to be again PPI tomorrow morning. Check it, watch it. That's going to be the most important thing of the entire week, I think. That's going to foreshadow what we're going to see with FOMC on Wednesday. So right now, who are we missing here? I don't see Sean, but it is Monday. Maybe Sean is not here today. I didn't see him in chat at all. But all right, I don't remember who won it last. Oh, Eki won it on Friday. So Eki will be going for 100. Everybody else is going for 25. Let's close it down. Winner of today's drawing is Debbie. Look at that. And I didn't even say her name today, just for the record. Didn't even say her name, guys. Didn't even say it. But I think that's two. Where are you at? That's two in 2 weeks, Debbie. Right? Didn't you win? Not that one. What am I going for? Leaderboard. Debbie, right here. Because you won last week too, I believe, right? You won last week too. Oh, look at that. Debbie, you're just holding on ahead of Neuro. Look, Neuro has stomped down Ernest. Look at that. You needed that 25, Debbie. He's close. Him and his hacks. Him and his hacks are really, really close. We got to keep this going here. So, all right. With that said, guys, I'm out of here for today. Went a little bit late, but had a ton to talk about. Again, hopefully the markets don't continue to deteriorate. We'll see where it goes. But yeah, a lot of things to do with this figure tomorrow morning. Like I said, unfortunately, that euro dollar Nadex contract is continuing to deteriorate. It's getting kind of more. It's kind of like right in the middle right now. That call spread weekly wise, again, kind of need like a pullback on that one. Well, that one was what did I say? $40 risk? Was it 40? Yeah. Yeah, we're still holding firm about that $40 risk with 200 to gain in the other direction. So, yeah, I think there could be some major movement on that one. Doesn't take us to parity, but as I said, tomorrow morning, short duration contracts. Look to see where the least volatility is. There's going to be a ton baked into it right now, unfortunately. The binaries are probably going to be absolutely insane with that PPI number, but maybe there'll be a tiny bit of a reprieve. Maybe we can find a knockout that is cheap. But I think again, see what they do in the overnight. Look for easy news trades tomorrow. And with that said, I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Take care. Thanks again.